Hello friends, welcome to Deep Knowledge. If you are new to Excel, this video is perfect for you. In this Excel beginner tutorial, I will give you a simple introduction to Excel. This will help you feel comfortable using Excel. You will understand where things are, how a spreadsheet works, and how to enter data. When you open Excel on your computer, you will see this screen. You can choose a blank workbook, or you may see recent files you opened earlier. For now, we will click on Blank Workbook. This workbook isn't saved until you decide to do so. To save the workbook, just go here, click on Save, and then you can decide where you want to save it. You can also use the shortcut key, Ctrl+S. An Excel file is called a workbook or a spreadsheet. A workbook has at least one sheet. You can add more sheets by clicking the plus icon. To rename a sheet, double-click on the sheet name, type a new name and press Enter. A sheet contains many cells. This box here is a single cell. You can input numbers or text in here. Just start typing and then press Enter. If you want to replace this value, just go to that cell and start typing. You don't have to double-click. You can type over it. Each cell has an address. What do you think the address of this cell is? It's D4, which means column D, row 4. The intersection of a column and a row is a cell. Up here, you have the formula bar. Once we input text here, we can see it in the formula bar. If I move to the cell to the side, there is nothing there. Now, if instead of text, you have formulas, so if I go to the side here, type in an equal sign and then go with my arrow keys to D4 and press Enter, notice what's in the formula bar. It has the formula and not the text. In this case, there is no formula, it shows the text. On the left here, we have the name box. This also shows us the active cell address. So in this case, it's D4. When I go here, it's F4. Now, here's a useful tip for you. You can also use this to jump to a specific cell. Just type in the cell address. So let's say I want to jump to A100. I'm going to type it in, press Enter, and I jump to that cell. Now, to jump back to the first cell, you can use the shortcut key, Control-Home. On the Excel grid, you can select multiple rows or multiple columns. Just go with your mouse and highlight the rows or highlight columns, just select and drag. There are also a lot of shortcuts in Excel you can use. For example, the shortcut key Control Space selects an entire column. If I hold down the Shift key and the arrow keys, I can select multiple columns. Now here, if you right mouse click, you're going to get a lot of options. You can, for example, insert columns in between these. If I right mouse click again, I can delete the columns that are in between these. A great shortcut is to use Control+ to insert columns or rows and Control- to delete them. An Excel sheet has more than 16,000 columns and over 1 million rows. You can see that by jumping to the bottom of the sheet using Control and the arrow down key. This jumps to the last row in Excel. If I use the Control key and the right arrow key, I jump to the last column. To get back, use Control-Home. Another term you need to know is range. A range is a group of cells. If I highlight this area, just click on the first cell and then drag. You can also use your keyboard by selecting the first cell, holding Shift, and highlighting the other cells with arrow keys. You reference a range by the address of the top left cell and the bottom right cell separated by a colon. So this would be D4 to F7. This is commonly used in formulas. If I want to move the value of this cell to another cell, I can use the Move handle. You can also use Ctrl-X and Ctrl-V to cut and paste. There is another handle called the Fill handle. When you drag it, you copy the content or formulas to other cells. Cells have a default size, but you can change them. If text is too long, it appears to spill into the next cell, but it is still only in one cell. You can adjust the column width by dragging or double-clicking to auto-fit. You can also use wrap text to make text fit inside a cell vertically. If you right mouse click, you get many useful options like inserting, deleting, clearing contents, and adding comments. Excel's menu is called the ribbon. It has tabs like Home, Insert, Data, and more. Each tab has different tools. If you hover over a feature, Excel shows information and shortcut keys. You can hide grid lines from the Page Layout tab. This is useful for reports and dashboards. Some ribbon groups have extra options shown by a small arrow that opens a dialog box. You can collapse or pin the ribbon using Ctrl F1. The File tab, also called Backstage View, lets you save files, export to PDF, print, and check your Excel version. Excel makes data entry fast. If you type Jan and drag, Excel fills the months automatically. Use Tab to move right and Enter to move down. If you type Jan in a cell and drag the fill handle, Excel automatically fills the next months like Feb, March, and so on. This makes data entry very fast. You can also press F2 to edit text inside a cell. To format data, you can merge and center cells, make text bold, adjust column width, add borders, To move rows without replacing data, hold the Shift key while dragging. You can also cut and insert cells using right-click options. And apply colours. You can copy formatting using the Format Painter. Double-click it to apply formatting to multiple cells. To calculate totals, use AutoSum from the Home tab or press Alt plus equals. Excel selects the range automatically, just press Enter. First, let's understand how to add two numbers in Excel. Select the cell where you want the answer to appear. Then type an equal sign, equals. The equal sign is very important because it tells Excel that you are going to do a calculation. After that, select the first cell, type a plus sign, select the second cell, and press Enter. Excel will instantly show the result. In Excel, every formula starts with an equal sign. Without it, Excel will not calculate anything. Now, for other calculations, if you want to subtract, use the minus sign. For multiplication, Excel uses the asterisk instead of the times symbol. For division, Excel uses the /. These symbols tell Excel what type of calculation you want to perform. Excel also has functions, which make calculations faster and easier, especially when you have a lot of data. For example, if you want to add many values in a column, adding them one by one is slow. Instead, you can use the sum function. Type equals sum, press tab, select all the cells you want to add, close the bracket, and press enter. Excel will quickly give you the total. Similarly, to find the average of values, type equals average, select the cells, and press enter. To find the smallest value, use the equals min function. To find the largest value, use the equals max function. You only need to select the cells and press enter. Excel does the calculation automatically. Now let's talk about the $sign in Excel formulas. It is used to lock a cell reference. Normally, when you copy a formula using the fill handle, the cell references change automatically. This is called a relative reference. Sometimes you do not want the cell reference to change. You want the formula to always use the same cells, even after copying it. In that case, you add a $sign before the column and row, for example C4 to C13. This is called an absolute reference. This completes our basic introduction to Excel. If you want to learn more Excel features and functions, comment below and tell me what you want next. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to Deep Knowledge, and share it with your friends so they can learn too. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.